Hello, Patriots. For years we've been told that the biggest threat to American democracy is authoritarianism or populism or whatever buzzword the media invents this month. But the true danger to our constitutional system isn't coming from the White House, Congress, or the voters who dare to choose a leader outside the political establishment. What am I talking about? Stay tuned. Hi, I'm Dr. Ken Henry, and this is Conservative Commentary, where we spread the MAGA message. Please give us a like, comment, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. These things really help us grow and get the message out. Now, the threat to our constitutional republic is coming from unelected, unaccountable lower federal court judges who've decided that they, not the president, not Congress, and not the American people, should run the country. This judicial overreach didn't start with President Trump, but it reached unprecedented levels the moment he stepped into office. And as President Trump returns with a clear mandate to clean up Washington, the same political judges are doing everything in their power to undermine, delay, and outright sabotage the agenda the American people voted for. Any honest observer of the last decade can see what's happening. Lower federal courts, district courts, and appellate courts have transformed from neutral interpreters of the law into political actors using their benches to impose their personal ideology. Now, this isn't speculation, it's documented history. The moment President Trump announced policies, whether it was securing the border, deregulating the economy, asserting American energy dominance, or restoring law and order, activist judges jumped in with nationwide injunctions based on legal theories so thin they would have been laughed out of court under any other administration. We watched a single district court judge block national policy supported by millions of voters. We watched courts stretch standing rules, those are the rules of procedure that give people the right to raise issues before the court, beyond recognition to let activist groups sue on behalf of people they'd never met. We watched judges rewrite statutes, invent new constitutional standards, and even ignore Supreme Court precedent, all to stop Trump. This wasn't judicial review, this was judicial resistance. Now, the founders gave federal judges the power to interpret law, not to create it. They were expected to show restraint. They were expected to respect the constitutional roles of the elected branches. They were expected to avoid politics. Now that restraint is gone. Lower court judges now behave as though they possess veto power over any presidential decision they personally dislike. This flips the Constitution upside down. Executive authority rests with the president, not with a judge in Hawaii or San Francisco or Washington, D.C. When courts jump in to block every executive action before it can even be implemented, they're not defending democracy as the media likes to claim. They're destroying democratic decision making from the inside. When a court blocks a border security measure, it is not simply issuing a ruling. It is overruling the votes of millions of Americans who demanded a secure border. When a court rewrites immigration law from the bench, it's substituting elite preferences for the choice of the voters. When courts use injunctions to tie the president's hand, they're essentially deciding who gets to govern, and it's not the people. One of the most dangerous tools in this judicial arsenal is the nationwide injunction, something the founders never created and Congress never authorized. These injunctions didn't exist for most of American history. They became common only when judges realized they could stop an entire presidential agenda with the stroke of a pen. A single district judge, one person, can halt policies affecting 330 million Americans. Think about how anti-democratic that is. And not surprisingly, the overwhelming majority of nationwide injunctions have been used to block conservative or America First policies. It's no coincidence, it's a pattern, and it's a warning sign. When power concentrates in the hands of the unelected, the republic itself is in danger. Now, the Constitution never envisioned a system where the presidency would be paralyzed by lawsuits filed in strategically chosen liberal jurisdiction. It never envisioned a world where every policy could be stopped by an ideology-motivated judge searching for a reason, any reason, to intervene. The founders built checks and balances, yes, but they also knew the dangers of giving too much power to any one branch. Lower federal courts were not meant to be miniature Supreme Courts roaming the country looking for political fights to pick. They were meant to handle disputes, not manage federal policy. What we face today is not a debate over constitutional interpretation. It's a struggle over who governs America, the people through their elected president, or a class of lifetime appointees operating as political overseers. Now, the good news is this: the Constitution gives us the tools to fix the problem, but it will take political courage. Now, here's a concrete America First solution to rein in judicial overreach. Article 3 of the Constitution gives Congress broad authority to regulate the jurisdiction of the federal courts. This means that Congress can, one, prohibit nationwide injunctions from district courts. Only the Supreme Court should have that power. This alone would stop activist judges from derailing the president's agenda with a single ruling. Two, Congress should limit forum shopping by requiring major federal policy challenges to be filed in the D.C. Circuit or another specified venue. No more cherry picking sympathetic courts. Three, Congress should require expedited appeals when a district court blocks executive action. No more endless delays designed to stall the administration. And four, allow executive actions to remain in effect unless and until the Supreme Court weighs in. This ensures all elections actually matter. Now, none of this is radical. All of it is constitutional, and every bit of it is necessary. The American people don't elect presidents so they can spend 4 years waiting for court battles to play out. They elect presidents to take action. President Trump came into office with a mandate to restore borders, rebuild industry, drain corruption, and put America first. Every time he tried, activist judges threw obstacles in his path, not out of legal necessity, but out of political defiance. If judicial overreach continues unchecked, no president, Republican or Democrat, will ever be able to govern again. The people's voice will be replaced by the judiciary's veto. That is the real threat to democracy. Fixing this crisis should be a top priority for every America First voter, lawmaker, and activist. The judges who believe that they are the final arbiters of political disputes must be reminded, firmly and constitutionally, that the power in this country flows from the people, not from activists in robes, not from partisan legal theories, and not from the anti-Trump resistance hiding behind judicial titles. It's time to restore balance. It's time to restore accountability. And it's time to return the governing authority to where the founders placed it, in the hands of the president the people elect. America cannot afford another generation of runaway court. The judiciary's job is to interpret the law, not to run the country. And the sooner Congress steps in to stop this judicial overreach, the sooner we can begin rebuilding a government that respects the Constitution, honors the voters, and puts America first again. What are your thoughts? What do you think about rogue judges and how to stop them? Please share your thoughts in the comments.